Now that we have the main farm all planted, we will venture to the south place to plant our last field and add a new pasture to the farm. This is episode 4, the Southern Pasture.
Welcome in to the final day here on Grandpa's farm of planting season. We're headed down to the south place today with a full planter. Going to seed it up in corn. If you were with us in the last episode, you know how we planted soybeans in the 55-acre field, and then the 100-acre field was all row crop corn also. So this time we're going to come down here and also plant the south place in corn, because this year we're going to be doing some silage because we're going to double our cattle. We're going to have enough cattle that we're going to need a lot more feed for. So let me get the planter started. Right down on this part of the field is where Grandpa wants to put the new pasture in at. He does have a new batwing mower for me to try to be able to mow all the brush and get it cleaned up for it. But as you can tell, I forgot to get fuel in this tractor yet again. But we'll keep planting a little bit longer, and then we'll run back to the house, get some fuel, and probably have to fill back up and seed. Well, we now have Dad back planting the south place. We have the new brush hog batwing mower that we're going to go back and start cleaning out what's going to become the new pasture. This time we're not going to bale it up, since we have Lone Tree that's going to be our hay field. So it should be ready within a month or two. We'll be able to get it harvested up, baled, and we do have enough hay to get by till then for sure. I want to put in a pretty good sized pasture down here. Of course, on the south place we really did have a small pasture down there. Most of the pasture is actually up by the main farm, but on this map we really just don't have room up there since we wanted to put a lot of fields in that area. But I'll get all this mowed here, and I think how far I need to go. Then we're going to use barbed wire fencing for the pin. So that's what we always had up there. There's a little bit of woven wire and some cattle panels around the cattle barn, but most of it was just regular barbed wire. Let me finish mowing this and go check on Dad. He'll probably need seed coming up soon, so we'll probably have to run to town. We used all of our seed yesterday, so buy another pallet of corn seed. I'll get this finished up. Occasionally I did get to take the batwing out to mow the pastures. We had a lot of multifloral rose bushes that were always aggressive and just taking over the pasture ground, and cows didn't really want to go in them. You'd have to sit there, and they just pick and choose where they wanted to eat, and all these weeds would grow up and it'd be a wasted space. So we come in here with the batwing and mow it up. Then cows would start using it again. Then it'd become nice pasture ground. Just had to keep it cleaned up, and it worked great. We have most of this done here. It'd be a pretty good sized pasture. It'd be nice to be able to bale it up and get something out of it. But as soon as we get this done, we'll finish that cornfield that Dad's working in, and then we will put the pins in here, build a fence around it. Well, that's the last of this. Get this thing all put away, and then we will run to town and get some more seed. See you back at the farm. Well, I believe this is going to be more seed than he's going to need in the field, but I couldn't get just a half a pallet. They only sell them in full pallets, so let's see where he's at. Not sure where he is. Am I blind? Oh, there he is. The mirror was blocking it. Let me run out there and get it filled up. There we go. That'll be more than enough to have some seed to start next year. Alright, well, let's get this thing back to work. We should be able to finish it up for him. He can take the pickup back to the house. Kind of like using this little white anyhow. It's kind of nice. I think we got to get out here and get it fertilized. We'll round a fertilizer on it today, and then get our new pasture put in, some fence build. We should be done. Let me finish this field up, and we'll take it back to the house and build a new pasture. Here's the last little corner to finish up. How many acres this field is? Pretty good size field. But this will probably be our field that we're going to do the silage in. We got to put a silage bunker in. It's actually over the west farm is where the real silage bunker is, but we don't have a west farm on this one, so we'll put it probably down here somewhere. Get some silage wagons and a chopper. We had both a self-propelled chopper and a 2-row pull-behind chopper on the farm. The self-propelled, the power unit on it actually became one of the engines that ran the sawmill. So then I think Grandpa ended up buying a newer self-propelled chopper. I'll go get this put away, and then we'll come back here and build the pasture ground. Well, I have a few different pasture mods I was thinking about. We got this free range one here. And granted, the money doesn't matter because it's Grandpa's farm, so he supplies all the money for it. But this one here is open range. The only issue with it, we have to provide water, and I want to put a pond out here on the pasture so we don't have to supply water. So I think instead of doing that one, and this one only holds 50, there's this one here that holds 200, but it looks like it also needs water. And then this is the last one, it only holds 40 cows, but you don't need water. So I think, oops, hit the wrong button there. Let me get back in there. I think I'm going to still go with this one. It's got a little decoration I don't really care for. But I think it'll work best for us, since we don't have to bring water every time. So when you have a pond here, you don't need the water. There we go. Alright, now I'll get a fence built around it. Now with that we've got the grass kind of removed, the mowed grass that we had, we'll come up here and try to get this fence built. Not sure how much cattle are going to really use, but my goal is to use the whole piece of ground and then put the pond in somewhere in the middle, maybe a little not a storage building, but a little shed for them, just for shelter. And stop right about here and put in some kind of gate. Move it over there. Alright, find the largest gate. I think that's the largest one. That should be big enough. There. And finish our fence out there. And the same way on the other side. Collides with itself, pretty much. Well, maybe. See if I can start. There we go. I was just going from the wrong direction. There. That'll work for now. Maybe I can put another gate in here. Yep, see it's going to collide. I'll get that figured out, but here, this is what it's going to look like. Get a pond put in, and that's what I'm going to do next. Try to put in our pond right here. See if I can try to make it somewhat the right depth. I'm never good at trying to raise and lower the terrain correctly. We're going to see if we can make it work. Don't want it too big, but definitely big enough for at least 40 head of cattle. There we go. Alright, let me get the water in here. Get the right height. There we go. Perfect. That'll work. That'll work as our drinking pond for the cattle. Now all we need to do is get the cattle. Come over here and see what we're needing. I believe it's the brown. No, it's not brown. So let's try and figure out what other cows we already have. It's the limousine. I think we're gonna go with some Angus, I believe. Let's start with some Angus heifers. This will hold 40. So let's get 20 of them. Then later on, we'll have to get another bull. There we go. All right. Now let me get some feed into them. Hopefully this field here on our left, Lone Tree, hopefully it'll hurry and get ready to be harvested. Because I said we had plenty of hay, but now that we're adding a second pasture, we are going through hay a little faster than I wanted. This is 2 bales worth here, and still probably have at least 10 bales left. Not sure how many more months it's going to be until Lone Tree's ready. I also need to put in another driveway back to the pasture ground, because going this way we get really close to the field if we keep going straight. So if I put a new path through here, maybe cut down a few trees, that would make it go a little easier to get back to the cattle. As you can tell, I kind of drive through the field a little bit, and once the crops are up, it's not going to be a good thing. Here we are, getting fed. Gonna get the gate working here because obviously there's some kind of collision. I don't know if that's where the slurry comes out or just what. It won't let me put a fence or a gate in there. I don't want to put a gate on the other side and have to open it every time to get to their feed bump. Get this filled up. Oh, looks like they're already in the water. So here it is, April. Can't be that warm out yet. So they found the water already. Finish this, and we got to get back here and fertilize this field. Took everything we had, so let me get the fertilizer cart, get back here. It looks like the fertilizer cart is still empty. So thankfully we have some magical 1980s totes over here still. That when we unloaded it previously, that we will come over and load up. I think I needed any lime back there this year. Let's get all these filled up. Not sure how many liters it's going to take. I definitely want to get all this used up that I have just laying around. Alright. 3,500 liters of it. It's pretty good. Now I'll get back down to the South Place field and get it fertilized. Well, I got the new trail put into the cattle pasture. There's only one tree going in this way that I had to cut down. We'll have Dad bring the loader out here later on and load it up and take it to the sawmill. Yeah, I cut it the right size for him. This will make it a lot easier than going through our cornfield to get to it. I'll get back here and get this fertilized. Here we go, getting this thing all nice and fertilized up. So it'll grow a little better, a little faster. Hopefully get a better yield out of it. Be nice to have fertilizer built into our planter. But in the 80s we didn't really have that on our planter, so we did it this way. So that's how we're going to do it now. I'll finish this up and we'll get back to the house. One thing that did happen between episode 3 and this one was the barn, our main cow barn. Must have had a mod conflict in between, and I don't know if it did an update or what, but I got on the map, or on this map the other day, and the barn was gone, including all the cattle. And I hadn't been to it yet, so I didn't even realize it, and I saved the game, and then I'm like, it's too late now, it's already been saved. It's saved with that barn missing, all the cattle missing, So then I had to try to find it again in the mod hub, reinstall it, and try to remember just how many cows we did have in it. So I hope I put it all back together the way it was supposed to be. But that was one little issue we did have. I'm trying to figure out now, what do we do with this? You know, we talked about, well, you could say there was it burnt down or something, but you know, this is a true to life map that we didn't really have that happen. The cattle barn didn't burn down. I don't recall anything actually ever burning. We always had some storm damage. I thought, well, we could have some storm damage, but the barn is completely gone. So I just put it back together the best my memory was showing. So, but I think that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. We hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please slap that like button. And until next time, have a blessed day, and bye-bye.
And this is the condemnation, that light is come into the world, and men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil.